Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I am back with another video here. And more roster cuts today, as we've seen in the last handful of days from the Flyers. We've seen roster cuts and guys have been sent down, and some guys are, you'd expect it, some guys not so much. Now, the last handful of days, there's been a lot of talk of, does Morgan Frost make the team? What necessarily happens there? Now, the Flyers yesterday had some, they had more roster cuts, and the following guys were loaned to the Phantoms. It was Urson, Day, Tuamala, Millman, Sushko, Wiley, Willman, and Strome. Denoyer was sent to his junior team in the QMJHL. So really, one of the most ones that sticks out there is Tuamala. Tuamala being sent down can mean either two things. It means they want to give him more reps in AHL training camp, which opened up, or they want him to see how he plays, in the AHL and let him start in the AHL, or either get the reps and then go back to the OHL or stick with the Phantoms for the start of the year. I think Tuamala has been a guy where you could see it go either way. I think the OHL season is fine. I think if he plays in the AHL, I think he could do it. Offensively, I think you just want to see more from him, and if he's able to get his shot off and, release his shot and get it off and everything, then I think that'll be perfect for him. Special teams is something that's huge, and again, I think Tuamala is just still getting used to the North American game and things like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets sent down back to the OHL or if he stays with the Phantoms. I don't think either or decision would surprise me. Now, today, a little bit different. The following 5 players have been assigned to the club's AHL affiliate, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Linus Sandin, Tyson Forster, Isaac Ratcliffe, Linus Hogberg, and Morgan Frost. Cal O'Reilly, he was released from his PTO, and the following 4 players were placed on waivers for the purposes of going down to the AHL. Adam Clendenning, Gary Mayhew, German Rubtsov, and Connor Bunneman. Now, the Flyers' updated training camp roster has them with 13 forwards right now. Atkinson, Aubé-Kubel, Brassard, Cates, Couturier, Farabee, Giroux, Konechny, Lawton, Lindblom, Thompson, JVR, and Garrett Wilson. Defensemen, you have 8, Braun, Ellis, Provorov, Ristolainen, Sanheim, Sealer, Yandel, and York. It looks like Sealer has made the team as the 7th defenseman. Doesn't necessarily surprise me. Now, obviously, the biggest thing is Frost. Frost is a guy where, again, he looked very good in the game against the Capitals, the home game, October 2nd preseason game. Had a lot of good offensive chances. It was the little things that turned into the big things, and I talked about that in the game review. Game against Boston, the game after the home game on October 4th, he looked good defensively. He still had some good chances, and he had 4 hits. He had some good breakout plays. He looked like he had a pretty solid game again. The first game that he played, the first preseason game, he was completely invisible, but he looked better. I think it's just the get of him, away from the puck is really what they're trying to, just hone in with him, is that he's looked good offensively and he makes the plays. It's just away from the puck, and defensively they want to see more, and I think they want him to get involved more physically too, and I think he's done that. But I think starting him in the season, Lehigh Valley, would probably help him get to that as well. I don't think he's far off, though, and I think it's the same thing with York. I think Sealer is perfect for the 7D as well, because, again, I don't think for the first 4 games of the season the Flyers are going to have a 7th defenseman. You don't necessarily really need to. You have 4 home games. It's a quick call up the turnpike to get a guy from Lehigh Valley. You don't really have to carry somebody else. Now, when they go on the Western Canadian road trip, that's when I would expect a call-up. Is it Clendenning or Sealer? I'm not sure. I personally would like Sealer. I think he looked really good. He had some good block shots, had a couple penalty minutes. He was just good defensively, and overall, I would not be surprised if he makes the team as the 7D. Now, obviously, the biggest question is the lineup, because with Frost being sent down, that means Friday's lineup is going to have to be different because there's a hole in your second-line center position. This would be the lineup that I would keep. I would keep the first line that they had against Boston the other night, Farabee with Couturier and Konechny. I thought that line looked good. I think you can keep that together. And overall, I think that's probably going to be the line there for the game on Friday. Lindblom, I think he's going to be on the second line, and then with Giroux and Atkinson. I think they're going to start the season with Giroux at second line center. I think it's perfect. If you remember last year, I just brought this up on the first episode that me and Yuri did of Don't Panic. We're starting that back up again. That's going to be up very shortly. They had a line last year and he brought this up with Lindblom, putting G with Lindblom. And I said, do you remember last year they had a line with Lindblom, Giroux, and Aube-Kubel. Only had it together for like a game, and they had that comeback against the Penguins very early in March, and that line looked really good, was very responsible for a good part of that comeback. Putting Lindblom back with G is perfect, and I think having Atkinson on that wing too is another more, again, very similar to Aube-Kubel, has more of an offensive element and a defensive element as well, also a veteran, so I think that will be perfect. I think Lawton could probably play third line center, and Brassard and Wade slip to the wing. Now, you could even keep this Brassard at center because I think Brassard's look good in the faceoff circle as well, or you could put Lawton there. I'm not too sure, but this line could be JVR with either Lawton or Brassard at center, and then the other one playing the wing would be perfect. And then I think the fourth line, I honestly think Jackson Cates will be the 13th forward. With Buttman being sent down, I think Cates has looked good. I think defensively he's 24. And again, I think he's a guy you can put him in the faceoff circle. He can play the wing, and I think if you put him with Thompson and Aube-Kubel, that's perfect too. But obviously it's not that surprising with Frost. I think my original thought was I didn't think he would make the team, and then we heard about the Hayes injury. I had more of a hope that he would, but it does not surprise me that he didn't, if I'm being honest with you. He did look very good, though, but I think there are some things that he still needs to work on, and I think that's what the Flyers are really trying to get out of him as well. So we'll see what happens. One thing is very surprising that Garrett Wilson is still on the roster there, the updated roster. I wonder if that will change, but maybe we could see him at some point as well. But remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.